order prior to me doing that.
No,
Okay,
you
we
can
hear the
call the meeting
chimes.
to order after swearing them in, because otherwise we don't have a quorum to open.
Okay.
Really?
So you
Okay.
can't even call the meeting to order, so
Wow.
I'll just go ahead and get started. And the way we will do this is I'll ask Commissioners Scow and Duncan and Chairman Nevergall, the three of you, just to stand. I'm going to read the oath. That way, all you have to do is say "I do," rather than going through all the language. So, if the three of you will raise your right hand, I'll put on my reading glasses. I, in your name, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully and truly perform the duties of the Planning Commission of the Town of Tyrone, that I will support and defend the United States Constitution, the Constitution of the State of Georgia, and the Charter of the Town of Tyrone to the best of my skill and ability, and as to me shall seem to be the best interest and welfare of the town without fear, favor, or affection. I do further swear that I am not the holder of any unaccounted for public money due this state or any public political subdivision or authority thereof, that I am not the holder of any office or trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state which, by the laws of the state of Georgia, I am prohibited from holding, and that I am otherwise qualified to be a public officer according to the Constitution and laws of the state of Georgia, so help me God. If so, say I do.
I do.
Right. And then we'll have to sign these documents. I'll sign and then bring them to you. And I think our job will be complete there. Is that right, Counselor?
That's correct.
Okay. Are these going back to Philip or to?
They'll go back to me, and then I'll give them to Dee.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
We appreciate you all.
Mayor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
Okay. So, we're official now. At this point, I will call to order the Planning Commission meeting for January 26th, 2023. And first order of business is consideration to select a chairman to the Planning Commission for the calendar year 2023. Have any nominations?
I nominate David.
A second.
Second. Keep it open for other nominations at this point? Okay. Are there any other nominations? If not,
Want to nominate anybody?
I guess at this point then,
We'll need a motion to close the nominations.
okay. Thank you for the
Motion to close the nominations?
I
motion to
second.
close it, and a second. That is all in favor of closing the nominations?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so now,
On the.
now we vote, okay, now we call for a vote on the nomination. All in favor?
Aye.
Should I vote for myself, or should I just abstain?
Up to you.
It doesn't. You would lose.
You're overridden. In any matter, you're overridden.
Motion carried.
I'm doing the math, yeah.
Okay, next item is consideration to select a vice chairman for the Town Planning Commission for calendar year 2023. Now open the floor up for nominations. I will,
Elect Dia Hunter.
as the motion,
That's my motion.
I'll second that motion. Have any other nominations?
Close nominations?
Okay, there's a motion to close the
I'll
nominations.
second.
All in favor of closing the nominations?
Aye.
one name and nominated. All those in favor, or, yes, all those in favor of Dia? Haven't done this since last year.
This is so awkward.
Please state by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Moving on to an approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve?
Well, let me ask a question. Do we need to switch the call to order on the agenda?
I apologize. That second item should have been appointments, not call to order. I thought I had made that change, but when it actually executed the document, it's made call to order twice, so I apologize.
I'll make a motion to just change that text to
Appointments.
appointments.
We have a motion with stated change.
Yes.
Second?
Second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approval of minutes.
We can take a minute here if you'd like.
I was gonna ask, I haven't had a chance to read as long as this is, could we postpone the approval of these minutes to our next meeting?
Sure can if you'd like.
I mean, or do you guys want to sit here and read it tonight?
Yes,
I'm open to suggestions on that, how you'd like to handle that.
it wasn't that bad.
There's a lot of minutes here. Yeah.
We'll
If we
po-
can, if we can
If
move
we
it-
can table that until the next meeting, and then give us time to look at it a little more closely. Okay,
Can I get a motion to table?
okay. I need a motion, asking for a motion to table the approval of minutes to our next meeting.
Motion to table till next meeting, approval of minutes?
Okay, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. No public hearings, moving on to new business. Consideration to approve a revised final plat for the applicant Jason Walls to combine 1400 and 1420 Sonoya Road.
So this is a quick replat. This item has come before you a couple of times in different kind of iterations. The applicant, Jason Walls, on behalf of the owner, 74 South LLC, they previously split what is now parcel, the leftmost parcel, if you're looking at that image, parcel 072604009. They had those condominium parcels on it, if you remember last time. We dissolved those condominium parcels into the parent tract. They then came through with a rezoning so that they could rezone that property without any non-conforming issues. Their ultimate goal was to combine all of the acreage that you see here. They're now doing that. So now that the properties share the same zoning of C2, they're now trying to replat it into one single tract, which is roughly a 10-acre tract. So it is compatible with the future development map and the zoning ordinance for C2. Staff recommends that the plat be approved, conditioned upon any final technical review committee comments being resolved. We still do have a couple of items that we need them to provide, some signature panels and things like that. But overall, we do recommend approval of the plat conditioned upon TRC comments being resolved.
Question of clarification. On this page with the summary and history in the picture, underneath that is the line with existing zoning and proposed zoning. It says existing zoning is OI and proposed zoning is C2.
Sorry, that's
We're
old.
already past that.
Yeah, we are past that. This property has gone from O&I to C2.
It is C2
It is
now.
C2
That's
at
what I
this point.
thought.
Yes.
Okay.
It is C2.
Wanted to clarify that. Okay. Gentlemen? Questions, thoughts, on motions, or motion?
Make a motion to approve the replatting of this property.
Sorry?
With staff conditions or without?
With staff
I'm sorry.
conditions, sorry.
Okay, we have a motion with conditions.
A second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Next item, consideration to approve a site plan from applicant Sharon Griffey's on behalf of owner De Beers Granite for 145 Mallory Court.
Yes, this is another pretty straightforward item. De Beers Granite has applied to the town for a site plan. If you take a look at that aerial image, you can see basically their exterior storage yard is uncovered. And if you ever drive back there on Mallory Court, if you've ever been to De Beers, you'll see all of their granite. A lot of their granite's just out, open air. So they're looking to cover that, with a fairly large canopy cover, but not adding any actual impervious surface, because all of that it sits on is currently on concrete. So they're just looking to place it's fairly large, 24,000 square foot canopy structure over that storage yard to protect their product. We took a look at it. Devin took a special note of any landscaping requirements. From a landscape plan perspective, we did not make them alter the landscape plan, although there could have been an alteration. There was some leeway in the ordinance. In order for them to do some more landscaping on the property, they would have had to tear up pre-existing mature landscaping and replant. Devin did not think that that was appropriate because it's mature landscaping that's there, and it just seemed to defeat the purpose of environmental management. So we're recommending approval of the landscape plan, but really approval of just going forward without requiring them to do any additional landscaping, because we didn't want them to have to tear any up to put new stuff down. So that's really the only unique item. The canopy meets with the comp plan and the zoning ordinance. I will note that, again, this printed with the same infill as the previous on existing zoning and surrounding zoning. The surrounding zoning is M1 across the railroad tracks, M2 heavy industrial to the north and east and west. So it is all heavy industrial or industrial around it, and the property itself is zoned M2 heavy industrial. So staff does recommend approval, again, conditioned upon some small TRC comments that we're working out with them that be resolved. But you can see in their site plan submission, the proposed, I think on page C3, that's where they're planning on putting the structure. But there would be no walls. It'll be all open air on all four sides just to protect their product from the elements.
Philip, how much of that is that even visible
From anywhere?
say, Sonoy Road or any, is it pretty self-contained and it's back in the cul-de-sac there? where
Yes, yeah,
it's
it's really not visible at all. And even the way that Mallory Court is, it's up a hill, so you really don't see it until you're literally on the property. I happen to know that De Beers purchased the lot adjacent to them as well, to the kind of like the northwest. They purchased that lot, so they own both of those lots. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a combo plat come before us later on. They're a growing company. They have a lot of employees. They need more parking space. They want more storage area for their product. So they're doing well. This is just a sign of them kind of growing their business, wanting to protect their product.
What is the property there that's just across from the tracks that looks like it's got
So that's,
truck or trailer parking?
yeah, that's a Shamrock Storage. They actually have a outdoor RV
Okay,
parking
that's
area.
their lot across the
Yeah, their
tracks,
zone
okay.
light industrial, and they are fronting 74. You can't quite see De Beers through their property. You can see there's a tree line on both sides and the railroad track. So I'm sure if you kind of sat on the right of way and you really tried to look through at the winter time with no leaves, you might be able to.
They're not adding any concrete,
They're not netting any impervious surface area, no. But Devin did take a look at their water discharge, and just made sure that they were keeping up with their industrial permit. I think she had a couple of items for them that she wanted them to update, just because this triggered her kind of doing an environmental review. So they were updating a few things, but in terms of impervious surface that they're adding, they're not having to expand their pond or anything like that, so,
So part of this is gonna go over the gravel.
yes. Yeah. We did Devin also did the calculation on some of that gravel. It, right now, it's been compacted for many years. It serves like an impervious surface. We've just counted it that way. Over many years, just gravel aggregate turns into.
Oh, I'm still unclear. Where is this canopy going?
So if you go,
Right.
yeah, if you go to the next page, where they have their site plan drawings, you can see starting on page C3, you see where the proposed shed roof is what they called it, is gonna be located. I think it's actually a gabled roof. I believe so, yeah, just slightly.
Have any catchment on it, anything that's, earth to rain to a certain direction, or do you know that?
Yes, I think so. I think it is gonna have gutters that go essentially directly to their stormwater, their pre-existing stormwater detention area.
Other questions or issues?
Make a motion to approve with staff comments.
Have a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Staff comments.
None at this time unless you have questions for me. I don't share dirt in public meetings, sir.
Commission comments.
the council members.
What's going on with our
Technology.
yeah, what's going on with the golf cart path there?
Which one? We're working on, we're working on
Road.
4 right now, yeah.
The Tyrone Road one that's gonna go by next to Scott's house.
Yes, so we have, I think, all of the property acquisition except one owner. We're just awaiting that owner to get back to us with a quote on a fence, because I know that they wanted that in their counteroffer. We're not allowed to just take the initiative to tell them that we'll give them the money for the fence. They need to tell us how much it's gonna be so that we can work on that as a negotiation. But we're really only waiting on one property owner. Because it's just one property owner, and we've had every indication that they're willing to continue to work with us. We're actually moving forward on design. Actually, we're at 60% design already, but we're gonna move toward 90% design so that we can get it bid. So, I mean, we anticipate that project to be under construction within the next 2 months.
What are the other three that you said there are four? I don't-
4 path, yeah, so that's one path that we're working on. The second path that we're working on is a connection from Spencer Road to Sonoya Road along the exit ramp of Highway 74. That'll connect the pre-existing path to Publix. That'll connect a lot of people there. We're doing a third path as a part of the roundabout project at Arrowwood Road. That'll connect from not Windfair. Yeah, it'll connect Arrowwood up to the back entrance of Southampton. I forget which street that is. But that's gonna be a path that goes, basically connects Arrowwood across Palmetto Road, down Spencer Lane to the back of Southampton. So there'll be a path incorporated there. And then we're doing a path improvement project right here in front of Gunnan, Graphics and Partners Pizza. Right now, it's just a sea of asphalt. You know, you got your travel lane, you've got the cart path, and you got a parking lot. We're gonna do a beautification project that separates the travel lane from the cart path from the parking lot, and also incorporates a crosswalk over to Cacao, because there are a lot of people that cross right there. So, that's one project, another project we're working on.
When does
So-
that one start?
That one is, so we've actually done all the surveying work for that, It does not require any right-of-way acquisition because we actually we have 80 feet of right-of-way there, so we have plenty of room to work with. So we actually have our engineering consultants are Keck and Wood, if you've heard of them. They'll be, I think they're starting on some preliminary designs for both that and the connection to Publix. Those are happening at the same time. So, and the connection to Publix is just one property owner, so we don't anticipate being held up in property acquisition for
I saw I saw EMC looking at the power lines by the firehouse and,
Shamrock Park a little
yeah,
bit.
Shamrock Park. What's happening there?
They do that like every month. I think it's a training class. There are like 12 of them that go out there.
Okay.
I think it's like a training class. There must be something unique about those.
And the roundabout, that project's underway or close?
Yes, that's, we're close to 90% design. We're just actually doing the final review of the landscape plan for that. Because we do want to make sure that, it's going to be a gateway, project into town coming from, Coweta County. So we want to make sure that the landscaping is done well, as well as a good separation between the road and the cart path so that.
Cool.
That will also incorporate a gateway entrance sign, so welcome to Tyrone at that location, inside the middle of the roundabout.
About the old town hall that Billy kicked all the walls down and all that kind of.
Yeah, so that building did, as a result of the freeze that we had over Christmas, the water pipe bust. I know I talked to Dee about this, but the water pipe did bust in that building, so a lot of damage was done. We actually have ServPro in there ripping out half the drywall, all the ceilings in most of that part of the building. Not the museum portion was not affected, so the old kind of council chambers was not affected. But we've calculated that it's probably over $100,000 worth of damage in that building. So we've got ServPro in there. They've done the mold remediation. They're almost done with that, and then we're gonna try and rebuild it out. But that's the plan for that building is still to have our recreation department move to that location so they can have more classroom space. Our employees can actually just have a little bit more space. I don't know if you've ever seen the office that they cram into, the two of them. So that, we still have a goal. We actually have some SPLOST money that was dedicated to renovating that building. So that plus insurance will try and, make it suitable for the public and for recreation.
How's the technology part coming?
So we're going to get that ordinance on our February 9th meeting. So I guess I think that's our next meeting. That will be before you kind of revise based on our discussions, and then it'll go to council on February 16th. If you're talking about the ordinance, or if you're talking about,
I'm just,
yeah, that ordinance will be complete, and then the East Group project that you reviewed, the actual physical business park that they got approved at Jenkins Road, they're still going through their EPD variance process for a stream buffer. So that's usually, it's up to a 6-month process, and we're about 3 or 4 months in. So
That project called for a cart path behind the buildings, structures on that property. Is there any plans, once that's completed, to tie into it, say from, down Jenkins where the schools are and so forth, or would that be the next logical phase for that?
yeah, our path plan, our master path plan incorporates a connection to Sandy Creek. So, and in the 2023 SPLOST manual, that project is called out specifically. So we have a rendering and a map showing that connection. So it'll go to Sandy Creek. As a part of that, we'll likely do a crosswalk across Jenkins to Sandy Creek High School to connect to that path. And That will come, that path that's a part of that project will come before you as part of a site plan approval. So we approved the planning, or we approved the zoning and the overall just rough development plan, but the very specific site plan for that first phase of those two buildings will come before you. And either the path will be constructed during that first phase, or we will require them to put essentially a letter of credit together, or a maintenance bond that shows that that path will be constructed come the finaling out of their next phases or something like that.
Questions, comments, or issues? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Doesn't take a vote. We are adjourned.
Oh, that last meeting was a record.
Yeah, that's right.
That's why these minutes are so long.
Your record, for those of you who weren't here 10 years ago. We had some long.
Hi, Billy.
Philip, I have a
night,
question
Billy.
for you now, if this is over.
Tell
Yes,
Michelle
yeah,
I'll see her
just one-
Saturday morning. Good for you. Thank you. I bet she does.
Okay.